going to share with you this morning is how to simplify radical expressions. As you can see, this was actually the same quiz I gave 2 years ago to grade 8 students who are now in grade 10. Okay, this was the long quiz dated December 3, 2018. So, earlier today I was searching in my files some practice exercises, and all I could find was this long quiz which was given 2 years ago. So simplify each expression. Number 1, square root of 18. So how do you simplify square root of 18? You have to think of factors of the radicand. The radicand is 18. You have to think of factors of the radicand wherein one of the factors must be a perfect square. So, what are the factors of 18? So, 18 may be obtained by multiplying the numbers 18 and 1. 18 may be obtained also by multiplying the numbers 6 and 3, and also by multiplying the numbers 9 and 2. So, with these pairs of numbers to be multiplied in order to obtain 18, obviously we have to go for the numbers 9 and 2. Okay, 1 may be a perfect square, but take note that the square root of 1 is also 1. Hence, that's not actually simplifying the given. So we will go for the pairs of numbers wherein one of them is a perfect square except positive 1. So, square root of 18 may then be written as square root of 9, square root of 2. Okay, the square root of 9 is equal to 3, and the square root of 2 will just be copied. So, the square root of 18 will be 3 square root of 2. This is the answer. Number 2, the square root of 45. The square root of 45 will be the square root of 9, the square root of 5, since 9 times 5 is 45. Hence, the square root of 45 is 3 square root of 5. Next, the square root of 98 would be the square root of 49 square root of 2. The square root of 49 is 7. Hence, the square root of 98 is 7 square root of 2. Okay. Not part of this exercise, there's one thing which I would like to emphasize with you. When you choose pairs of numbers wherein one of them is a perfect square, you have to go for the number which is, you have to go to the pair of numbers wherein one of them is the larger perfect square compared to the other pair of numbers. Okay? What am I trying to say is, for example, if you have square root of 32, you may be tempted to say the square root of 32 would be the square root of 4 multiplied to the square root of 8. Yes, it is obviously still in accordance with the rule, diba? Since 4 times 8 is 32 and 4 is a perfect square. The square root of 4 is 2. So you have 2 square root of 8. But take note that the square root of 8 is not yet simplified because 8 may still be, or the square root of 8 may still be simplified further. So that's 2 square root of 4 square root of 2. The square root of 4 is equal to 2, so you have 2 times 2 square root of 2. Hence, the square root of 32 would be 4 square root of 2. Okay. So, dapat di ay kanang square root of 32 should be written this way. The square root of 16 square root of 2. So, what did I say a while ago? Dapat you have to go to the pair of numbers wherein one of them uh, wherein one of the numbers is a perfect square. Tapos, kung naay laing pair of numbers nga naapay perfect square, you go to the larger perfect square, which is 16 and 2. Pwede ka nga pair of numbers, not 4 and 8. So, the square root of 16 would be 4 square root of 2. So, sir, is this answer wrong? Sakto ra gihapon kay pa, di ba? Obviously, parehas ra siya. Pero, as you can see, it took you a while, it would take you for a while to really find the final answer. Because if you will tell me that the square root of 32 would be 2 square root of 8, then your answer will be marked wrong. And for example, if this is in a multiple choice exam, okay, say, find the square root of 32 or simplify the square root of 32. And you will find in the choices, letter A, 2 square root of 8, letter B, 4 square root of 2, letter C, say 3 square root of 2. Obviously, letter A and letter B are related since 2 square root of 8 when further simplified will give you 4 square root of 2. However, 2 square root of 8 will never be the answer. The answer should only be 4 square root of 2. Okay. So, for that multiple choice exam, the final answer must be letter B. Okay. Number 4. The cube root of 24. In this case, n is 3. Diba? So, diba natay rule nga the cube root, the nth root of a is a to the power of 1 over n. Naapoy rule nga the nth root of a to the power of m, that's a to the power of m over n. Okay. N in these two cases is the index. Index. While the number inside the radical sign is called the radicand. The radicand. Okay. In this case, for number 4, 3 is the index while the radicand is 24. So, for you to simplify the cube root of 24, you have to look for factors of 24 wherein one of them is a perfect cube. So, dili na pud perfect square but perfect cube. So, that would be the cube root of 8 times the cube root of 3. Since 8 times 3 is 24. Sir, why not 12 and 2? Ask yourselves, is 6 a perfect cube? The answer is no. Is 2 a perfect cube? The answer is also no. Sir, why not 6 and 4? Is 6 a perfect cube? Ask yourself. The answer is no. Is 4 a perfect cube? 4 is a perfect square, but it is not a perfect cube. So, the only perfect cube wherein it is a factor of 24 is 8. No? So, apart from 1, well, the cube root of 1 is still equal to 1. Hence, it is not part of the choices that you will have to consider in simplifying the cube root of 24. So, the cube root of 8 multiplied to the cube root of 3. The cube root of 8 is equal to 2. 2 cube root of 3. This is the answer. Why is the cube root of 8 equal to 2? The cube root of 8 is equal to 2 since 2 cube is equal to 8. Or 2 multiplied by itself 3 times will give you 8. Diba? Exponent tells how many times the base is to be multiplied by itself. Okay. Ang number 5, parehas na siya sa number 4. I don't know what happened. Okay, number 6. The cube root of 250. Look for factors of 250 wherein one of them is a perfect cube. So, obviously, the cube root of 250 would be the cube root of 125 times the cube root of 2. The cube root of 125 is 5. Why? Because 5 multiplied by itself 3 times will give you 125. or 5 cubed will be 125. So the cube root of 250 would be 5 cube root of 2. Okay. Number 7. Number 7. The cube, the fourth root of 32. Okay, the fourth root of 32. Kanina, square root of 32 to. The square root of 32 is 4 square root of 2. Right now, you have the fourth root of 32. So, look for factors of 32 wherein one of them is a perfect, is a number raised to the power of 4. So, obviously, it would be the fourth root of 16 multiplied to the fourth root of 2. The fourth root of 16 is 2. Why? Because 2 multiplied by itself 4 times, or 2 to the power of 4, is equal to 16. 2 fourth root of 2. Okay. Next. The fifth root of 243. 2430. So, this will be the fifth root of 243 times the fifth root of 10. Since 243 times 10 is equal to 2430. So, pila man ang fifth root sa 243? Okay. So, that would be 3. Because 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, that's 3 multiplied by itself 5 times, it will give you 243. So, 3 times 3, akong ikuha na, so 3 to the power of 5, that's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Ninduha. 3 times 3 also is also 9 times 3. So, kanang duha ka 3, 9. Duha ka 3, 9. Then 3. 9 times 9 is 81. 81 times 3, that's 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Hence, 3 to the 5th power is 243. So, the fifth root of 243 is 3. So, this is 3 fifth root of 10. Okay. By the way, it's important that you will write the index properly. Dili ibutang nimo sulod sa sulod sila pa sulod sa banga diha. Kanang murag space din ha. Okay, this time involving variables. The cube root of 12x to the power of 8. Okay. Now, ask yourselves, are there factors of 12 wherein one of them is a perfect square? A perfect cube. Diba? So, may mga factors sa 12. 6 and 2. 4 and 3. So, obviously, walay perfect cube, except anang 1. But, 1 is not part of the choices na imong i-consider. So, the cube root of 12x to the power of 8 would be cube root of 12 lang ka. Tapos, you have cube root of x to the power of 6. In this case, m is equal to 6. Diba? Kani siya. The nth root of a to the power of m is equal to a to the power of m over n. So, m is equal to 6 while n is equal to 2. The cube root of x to the power of 6 multiplied to the cube root of x squared. Oh, why is it so? Take note of the first law of exponents. When you multiply expressions with the same basis, you simply add their exponents. Hence, the exponents of x would be 6 over 3 and 2 over 3. When added, will give you 8 over 3. Hence, m is equal to 8. So, which of these three radicals may be simplified? Obviously, you cannot simplify cube root of 12. You cannot also simplify cube root of x squared. But you can simplify the cube root of x to the power of 6. What is the cube root of x to the power of 6? So, by definition, kanang the nth root of a to the power of m, which is equal to a to the power of m over n. So, what pasabot di ay kanang cube root of x to the power of 6 is x to the power of 6 over 3. So, that's x squared. The exponent of x is 2. 2 is obtained by dividing the numbers 6 and 3. Therefore, the answer would be x squared, which is the cube root of x to the power of 6, cube root of 12 x squared. Pabilin tong mga radicands nga dili ma-extract. This is the answer. Okay, number 10. Cube root of 8w cube y cube. Is 8 a perfect cube? It is a perfect cube. So the cube root of 8 is 2. The cube root of w cube is w. The cube root of y cube is y. So the cube root of 8w cubed y cube is 2wy. So that is again in application to the concept that the nth root of a to the power of m is a to the power of m over n. So the cube root of 8 is 2, since 2 cubed or 2 multiplied by itself 3 times is 8. So the cube root of w cubed is w, since by definition nth root of a to the power of m is a to the power of m over n. So that's 3 w to the power of 3 over 3. 3 over 3 is equal to 1, which is the exponent of w. The same goes through with the variable y. Okay. Number 11. The cube root of 54ab to the power of 5. So, ang 54 ba is a perfect cube? The answer is no. Pero does 54 have a factor which is a perfect cube apart from positive 1? The answer is yes. What is the perfect cube which is also a factor of 54? The answer is 27. Hence, this can be rewritten as the cube root of 27. On the other hand, kanang b to the power of 5 would be the cube root of b cube. Dayon, since 5 man ang exponent sa b sa given, naapay b squared. So that would be the cube root of 2ab squared. Ano man, since if you will multiply back 27 and 2, you get 54. Then a, copy. Since the exponent of a, which is 1, m in this case is less than n. So dili na gini mo na ma-simplify. By the way, ang imuang i-target dapat m must be less than n. Since if m is greater than n, like in this case a given, the exponent of b is 5, m is greater than n, so pwede pa na siya ma-extract. So imong i-target nga m would be equal to n, or m is a multiple of n, diba? Like in this case, imong giset ang m, which is 6, to be a multiple of n, which is 3. So 6 is a multiple of 3. In this case, m is equal to n, pwede po na siya. So the cube root of 27 would be 3. The cube root of b cube will be b. 3b cube root of 2ab squared. Mhm. Okay, that's the answer. Kung imo nang i-multiply tudog balik before sa answer 27 times 2, that's 54. Copy A. B cubed times B squared. Multiplying expressions with the same basis will mean adding the exponents 3 and 2 respectively, which are the values of m. Okay. Retaining the index n, which is 3. Okay, number 12. The cube root of 162 b to the power of 4. So, is 162 a perfect cube? The answer is no. No? The answer is no. But does 162 have a factor wherein one of them is a perfect cube? Let us find out. So, unsa may mga factors 162? 162 is actually twice 81. Correct? 81 is actually 3 to the power of 4. Okay? So, 81 is the fourth power. 81 is what you obtain when you multiply 3 by itself 4 times. So, lapas siya sa cube. Diba? So, bot pasabot, the factor of 162, wherein one of them is a perfect cube. No, the factor of 162, which is a perfect cube at the same time, is 27. So, when you divide 162 by 27, you get a that's 27 um, 162. 162 is 81 times 2. 81 is 3 to the 4th times 2. So you have 3 cube times 3 times 2. So 3 cube is 27 times 6. That's 162. So 27 times 6 is 162. Okay. So this is the cube root of 27. 27 is a perfect cube since 3 multiplied by itself 3 times is 27. Cube root of b cube. The exponent of b in the given, which is m, is greater than n, which is the index. Cube root of 6b. So when you multiply the radicands, 27 multiplied by 6 gives you 162. B cube multiplied by b is b to the 4th power. So simplifying it further, the cube root of 27 is 3. The cube root of b cubed is b. Cube root of 6b. This is the answer. Okay, next. Number 13. The fifth root of 96a to the power of 8 is 96 obtained by multiplying an integer by itself 5 times. The answer is no. But does 96 have a factor which is at the same time obtained by multiplying a number by itself 5 times? The answer is yes. 32, which is a factor of 96, is actually a number which is obtained by multiplying 2 by itself 5 times. Diba? Ang 32 is 2 to the power of 5. Again, 32 is 2 to the power of 5. Since 2 multiplied by itself 5 times is 32. So, the fifth root of 32 is 2. Perfect siya. So, this will be the fifth root of 32 multiplied by the fifth root of a to the power of 5 multiplied by the fifth root of 3. Since 32 times 3 is 96, a cube. If you will multiply the expressions, 32 times 3, that's 96. A to the fifth power times a cube is a to the power of 8, retaining the index which is 5. So the fifth root of 32 is 2. Why is the fifth root of 32 2? Because 2 to the power of 5 is 32. What is the fifth root of a to the power of 5? That's a. That's m over n. M divided by n, or 5 divided by 5, is equal to 1, which is the exponent of a. Fifth root of 3a cubed. Number 14. Okay, last two numbers. Look, in 30 minutes ka lang. The cube root of 48, a cubed, b to the power of 8, c to the power of 7. So you have is 48 a perfect cube? Is 48 a perfect cube? The answer is no. Does 48 have a factor which is also a perfect cube? The answer is yes. What is that number which is a factor of 48 which is also a perfect cube at the same time? The answer is 8. 8 is a perfect cube, and 8 is a factor of 48. So you have the cube root of 8 multiplied by the cube root of a cube multiplied by the cube root of b to the power of 6. The exponent of b in the given is 8. 6 is actually a multiple of 3, which is the index. Cube root of c to the power of 6 multiplied by the cube root of 2. Since 8 times, not 2, sorry, 6. What was I thinking? 48 man yung given. 8 times 6 is 48. So, ang a cube na ginawa, wala na laing expression that when you multiply by a cube will give you a cube, except by 1. So, 6b squared. Ganun exponent of b there is 2. Since b to the power of 6 times b squared is b to the power of 8, c. Mapilang c din na. Since c to the power of 6 times c is equal to c to the power of 7. Okay. Cube root of 8 is 2. Cube root of a cube is a. Since 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. M over n. Exponent of a is 1, which is no longer written. Cube root of b to the power of 6, that's b squared. Cube root of c to the power of 6, that's c squared. Cube root of 6b squared c. So this is the answer. Next, number 15, last. The cube root of negative 27y to the power of 36 over 1000. Is negative 27 a perfect cube? Yes. What is the cube root of negative 27? That's negative 3. Why? Since negative 3 multiplied by itself 3 times is negative 27. The cube root of y to the power of 36 is y to the power of 12. Since 36 divided by 3 is equal to 12. Well, the cube root of 1000 is 10. Since 1000 is also a perfect cube. This is the answer. Thank you very much. I hope that helps. Thank you. Yes.